Hey guys, welcome back. It is Jaden at Mazda, down at Riverside Mazda, and today for you I've got the all-new 2022 CX-5 Turbo, and I'm going to show you all of the special features and all of the cool new styling. So let's look at it. What better place to start than in the front with the bold styling? Going top down here, we're going to see we've got the nice machine gray paint in this spec here. Starting off with the hood, we can see once again the fabulous 1-2 hood line, one that goes over the main, and then one that comes from the shoulder that goes into the headlight there. Okay, dropping down, speaking of headlights, we are actually going to have these LED daytime running lights, which looks really crisp, and of course the main LED bulb. I think it looks especially good on this because the housing here is actually black, which gives it more of a stealth look. Okay, if we're going towards the middle, we're going to check out the grille and the grille surround. So we can tell right up from the front, this thing looks angry. We're actually going to borrow the black chrome that we're going to see on the Carbon Edition CX-5 that goes around the main grille, but the gloss black dynamic grille pattern here. Front and center, our big Mazda emblem that houses things like our radar cruise control, our smart city braking, and things of that nature, looking really good in front. And a nice accent I really like on this turbo here. We have these 4 little red things right here. Not sure what's going on with that, but I know what I do like. I think it looks cool. A nice little touch that Mazda added to the front end of the CX-5 Turbo to distinguish it against other CX-5 models. All right, and then dropping it down a little bit to the lower half, just being the turbo trim of the CX-5, we're actually gonna get that gloss black lower front splitter as opposed to our flat black and all our other CX-5s, and then body colored in our CX-5 signature. I think this looks really good, and if we take a step back here, we're just gonna notice how mean and angry thing this looks. Oh my God, definitely if I was gonna get a CX-5, I want it to be, honestly, I like the black on black, but the machine gray looks really good. So let's go ahead and graduate from the front end. Let's go over to the side, check out some of the side styling before we hop to the back. All right, and looking at the side styling here, once again, top trims are gonna get that painted side fender wheel arches and bottom trim as well. In the turbo trim, it's gonna be the gloss black signature. It's gonna be body colored, but the gloss black definitely gives it that much more sporty look that I really like. Hopping it down to the wheels, we're gonna see we've got the Toyo tires. As far as the width, we're rocking 225 on the width. Okay, we have a 55 series sidewall and then a 19-inch wheel, which fits this car pretty perfectly, keeps the suspension nice and soft, unless you want it to be sporty and aggressive. Right, checking out the wheels, gloss black wheels. Absolutely love these. These are 3D, got some good dynamic, a nice multi-spoke wheel with that aluminum silver finish brake caliper up there. We got the fronted ventilated rotors, and then of course these have the silver lugs, but they optionally have the black lugs as well. All right, and taking a step back, we're gonna notice some more great styling cues on the turbo trim. We're gonna get our gloss black side mirrors here. Okay, one thing don't like, I kind of mention this every video, but right here, the hockey stick, this is chrome. Black chrome would have been awesome. Gloss black would have been even better, but beggars can't be choosers. We got the CX-5, and that's the good thing. Of course, gonna go over the overall side silhouette here. We're gonna see what we like the best on the CX-5. The way that it looks overall from this side, it's got a nice low slung hood, and then the coupe back design looks really nice on this car. And of course, the way they shape the light with these soft body lines, nothing too crazy. We got a nice high shoulder here in the front and the rear, but overall, the way this reflects the light really embodies Mazda's design philosophy. Looks really good. So let's go ahead and check out the back and check out what's new. So here we are in the back of the CX-5 Turbo. Gonna check out some styling features here, starting top down. Up here we have our shark fin antenna for Sirius XM, looks really good. And we have a nice top roof spoiler going on here, body color, and then a flat black accent piece. In the middle, of course, we're gonna have our rear windshield wiper, which looks pretty good. Nice LED lights, which I really love. I like the way they updated them compared to the older generations. Those were starting to look a little bit dated, but these are nice and fresh and new with our turn signals hidden in the mirror right there. It's gonna look really good. Reverse lights right there in the middle. Of course, all CX is gonna be all-wheel drive this year. We got our turbo badge. We'll go under the hood in a second. Take a look at that. Dropping down a little bit further, obviously machine gray, but continuing that gloss black theme on the lower half, looks really, really good. And then with this turbo trim, we're gonna get our nice aggressive exhaust outlets here. Got 2.5 inch, a little bit bigger than the standard exhaust on all CX-5s. It looks really, really good in my opinion. So while we're back here, let's hop in the trunk and check out the trunk space. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and check out the trunk space here. So once again, power liftgate in this trim, gonna be in the preferred and up trim, but we have some good storage in here for a lot of your daily activities. Gonna be more than enough. This specific trim comes fitted with our cargo net, but right under there, we're gonna see we've got our spare tire with our Bose subwoofer right there in the middle, right? We do have some releases right here on either side and on the seats as well, but if you wanna put that down, you just throw the release, and it's got a nice 40-20-40 split, so you can have something long that goes down the middle, but still have room for your back two passengers. So here we are underneath the hood of the 2022 CX-5 Turbo. Gonna go over once again, what the heck does Skyactiv mean? Okay, Skyactiv is the way Mazda builds their engines. We've got aluminum block, aluminum internals for being as lightweight as possible, because this car is a driver's car, all about enjoying the spirit of driving, and obviously lightweight adds to that dynamic. Okay, gonna use direct injection versus that port injection for a quieter and a smoother burn, of course. Okay, this being the Skyactiv G Turbo, we're gonna get our back mounted turbo there. We'll take a look, see how it's doing. Looking really good. Of course, that's our dynamic pressure turbo. Really nice turbo system Mazda's got going. Pushing out a healthy 256 horsepower, up 6 from last year, and 320 pound-feet of torque when you're running that premium gas. Okay, as far as things like fuel economy on this car, you're gonna be averaging about 24 combined. You're getting 28 on the highway and 22 in the city. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hop inside, check out some of the interior features here. Outside, we're gonna notice this does have the power folding mirrors and this advanced keyless entry. Gonna press that button once, gonna allow us to open up and get on the inside. All right, guys, here inside of the 2022 CX-5 Turbo, gonna go over some of the styling cues, some of the features, what you're gonna get in this near top trim car. Coming in at $38,000. Is it worth the money? Let's hop into it. All right, so starting off with the steering wheel. Traditionally, we're gonna have our leather wrap steering wheel, but this is actually gonna take a lot of inspiration from the Carbon Edition trim. This is gonna have that red stitching, which we saw in our last CX-5 video. Going on to some controls here. We got our volume rockers here, our skip track, play track, and our info button, which lets us cycle through a few different displays showing fuel economy, things like your active safety, and of course your miles to your next service, and then compass if that's what you like. Okay, front and center, got our Mazda emblem here with our SRS airbag in that nice aluminum trim that goes around the whole steering wheel here. On the bottom here, we are gonna have our turn on and off buttons for our adaptive cruise control, which you'll see. Let's go ahead and put that mode on, and this is actually how you adjust your follow distance with this button right here, because one click of that's gonna be about 1 car length. Moving on to the side, we're gonna look at some of the trim here. This is gonna have that carbon pattern similar to that of the Carbon Edition here, with a nice aluminum that goes underneath. Got the light gray stitch right here on the top, and the red contrast stitching here in the bottom. Once again, nice soft touch leather everywhere in this trim. Everything's about being as close to premium as possible. Okay, got our aluminum switches on our window switches here, and then of course we have our mirror controls, which lets us power fold those mirrors all the way in. Let's see if we're getting in a garage or something like that. Okay, moving on a little bit more, we're gonna see our pentagons shaped air conditioning vents look pretty nice in here with the aluminum bezel. Same deal, aluminum below the carbon trim, which flows into the dash. Got things like our trunk release, and then our link keep assist down there as well. Going into our display here, we kind of already went over the functions of our main display. And I like this display personally, kind of puts our car in the middle, looks kind of futuristic here. On the right side, we'll see we have our odometer. This is actually going to be our miles remaining on the tank. Can't see it, there it goes. We have 119 miles remaining. Oh, just went down 118. And on the left, we have our fuel economy. Far left, we do have our tachometer and things like that. And then looking straight ahead of us, we are going to have our heads-up display on this trim, showing things like our speed, our turn-by-turn nav, and active safety as well. Looking at our display here, Mazda's going to have the biggest display in their lineup, a 10.25 inch display up here, which is housing Mazda's new UI, Mazda Connect, which is very, very easy to navigate, which is the car's whole premise, simplicity, right? We don't want a car that's like a spaceship that's too hard to use. Okay, got our, once again, double pentagon vent style with our hazards right there in the middle. Moving a little bit further south, we're gonna see start stop button trimmed in that aluminum, which you'll see is a common theme throughout this. AC controls down here. This controls the temperature right here in the middle. We're gonna see nice heated 3-level and 3-level cooled seats as well, which is really, really cool in a car in this price point. And then right there at the bottom, we're gonna see our cheap wireless charger to drop your phones down in. And then we have a nice little 12-volt there. More charging options. If we open up this center armrest here, we're gonna see you have 2 USBs right there and another 12-volt to charge your phone. All right, and keeping our eyes right here, we have our command knob, which controls all of our infotainment up here. Got our hot buttons, nav, home, music, and favorites right here, positioned really nicely. Once again, human-centric design. Everything is placed exactly where it needs to be. Okay, this little smaller knob right here is going to be our volume rocker. And then right here we see we have our electronic parking brake. If I push that down, you hear it engage. And then pulling it up, disengage, pulling it up engages it. Right below that, we have our auto hold, which is holding our brakes when we're driving whenever we come to a complete stop. Okay, one thing I did leave out, I just remembered, we do have our heated steering wheel. Really nice here. In these winter months, SoCal don't really need it as much, but every other state, I'm sure you guys are needing that right about now. All right, and then looking at our seats here, we've got this nice black leather with the red contrast stitch. Mazda have actually updated the seats for the 2022 model year because they've heard your complaints, people, talking about the seats are too firm, they're too small. The American market, we're a bigger market, so they have accommodated us and upgraded these seats. They're feeling nice and plush as they should be. And then of course, I forgot, we have our Bose sound system down there, 10-speaker sound system on this car. Gonna sound really, really nice, providing highs and clarity throughout the whole volume range and a good amount of bass as well. Moving up to the top, we're going to see we have our mirror here with our home link 1, 2, and 3 for your different garages and Ferraris that you guys all have, because I know you do. And then things like our LED lighting, which looks really nice and crisp in here. And then of course, in this car, we're gonna have the black headliner. All right, and here we are in the back seat of the CX-5 Turbo. Gonna check out some of the back seat space and storage. Starting off with the front, black headliner, looks super stealth. We can open this thing up. We're gonna nice size moonroof, taking up about half the roof. Looks really cool. Same style design with that carbon trim and the aluminum underneath. And then the door handles, tailored especially to how the hand fits. Same ordeal, black leather, soft touch with the red counter stitch. Move to the middle here. We are actually gonna have 2 vents for our AC with the fan control right here in the middle. Wish it did have the tri-zone climate that we see in the 6.9, but that's no big deal. Okay, if you want to drop down this center armrest, we actually get nice cup holders here, which can hold probably like a good a medium size or a large size Coke in here if you guys are into Cokes. And then of course we have heated seats in this trim for our rear. We want to lift this thing up. We're gonna see we have 2 little USBs so we can charge our phones and things like that too. All right, guys, and then of course going over room back here, super sufficient. Definitely not the largest back seat in the industry, but you do have good space. I'm 6-foot guy, you can kind of see where my knees are from a different perspective, but I do have them far back. Tons of foot room. Headroom's pretty solid. I got about 3-4 inches of headroom there, really nice. And then with the seats, you actually have 2 levels of reclinement back here. We can lock it into one. We can see where the seat's at, flush with this middle row. But if we pull it again, you can push it back to our second level, give us an additional 5 degrees of reclinement. Pretty cool feature. All right, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the 2022 CX-5 Turbo trim. Gonna be testing out the drive, gonna be telling you guys, should you be spending your money on this or should you not? Let's go for a ride, test out the handling, the acceleration, and the ride, and we will find out together. All right, guys, so if you know me, you know how I like to start off with the ride quality. And that's something that Mazda does really, really well at. They excel at making a good ride compared to the competitors, right? So even in Riverside, where we have these rougher roads, this thing handles it very, very smoothly. And not only is the ride super smooth, to go along with that, we are gonna have some very, very nice noise, active noise cancellation here that you're gonna get from the Bose Audio Pilot, but just the noise level in the cabin in general is gonna be really, really quiet, that you guys will notice. Not gonna be letting in a lot of stuff. I really like how Mazda puts comfort and convenience in the forefront of their priorities. All right, graduating to the handling, we know this is what Mazda really focuses on, right? The whole brand, jleggette, horse and rider as one. How is going to be the handling in this car, right? Well, of course, it's going to be amazing because Mazda knows how to make good cars. So with that G Vectoring Control Plus, that's going to allow us to have more confidence going into these turns as we do. And you can see I'm doing this one-handed so I can record this for you guys, but two hands aren't super necessary. I know right here with this turbo, it really tempts you to put your foot on the floor, but you can feel the boost, right? Because this is making a nice 320 pounds compared to the stock engine is making around 187. So here we are with a nice straightaway. We're gonna test out, does that turbo actually make a difference? Well, let's see. We got the all new MI Drive for this year, actually, which actually gonna have new modes. We got off-road mode, our normal mode, and our nice sport mode. We have a nice animation here. Let's see it again. Boom, in red. So we got it in sport mode. A little bit of braking here, and I hit the gas, and let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right, and this thing rockets off the line. And just like that, we are at 60. So we know this turbo definitely is gonna have a bunch of get up and go when you need it to. It's gonna be a significant increase over what you're gonna see in our non-turbo engines. And this thing is just gonna beg you all day long to have some fun, okay? Once we do the acceleration test, right after that, of course, we got the braking test. So here we are, we're sitting at around 48 miles an hour. We're gonna test. We're gonna get quick fast, we gotta slow down fast. All right, full emergency stop in 3, 2, 1. And we can see it slows you down very quickly. So guys, this was the 2022 CX-5 Turbo. We've looked at all the styling, all the features. Now, I want you guys to let me know, is this the one you'd be choosing? Because it might be the one I'd be choosing, right? Coming in at 38,000 and then going up from there. The CX-5 Turbo is a nice bargain for a lot of the features that you get, but is it going to compete with giants like the Toyota RAV4 and the Honda CRV, right? We know that it drives well. We know that it handles well, and it definitely feels well, right? But take a trip down to your Mazda dealer, check it out for yourself. But until next time.